Don't get me started on the cricket match. I swear. Yeah. Let me share the screen with all of you. Let me share the screen. Um, mm, 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 mm. Hopefully, we're able to share the screen. It says students are. Oh my god, the screen is shared. सर प्लीज़ बता दें इज़ इट डी और इज़ इट ए डूड चला सर अगर पेपर 4 अच्छा नहीं हुआ हो लेकिन पेपर 1 बहुत अच्छा हुआ हो तो क्या ए आ सकता है यस यू कैन इवन गेट एन ए स्टार मैन चिल it's okay guys at this point don't think about solving more papers please at this point what you should be doing is you should be relaxing and even if your preparation is not up to mark it's okay you just take this session take this class go to sleep after this or maybe take a little break or go sit with your parents and then you just revise a few concepts and try to go to sleep and wake up early in the morning and then I'll tell you the routine after that, right? So don't solve more papers. This particular class is especially designed to just teach you the exam situation. So when I'm sitting in the exam, I'll be solving these papers. So all the O-level paper, the IGCSE paper, I'll be solving both the papers, but I will not be explaining it in detail. I'll just be teaching you how to go about it. Sir, why is there no 2024 IGCSE paper? There is, it's uploaded on my YouTube channel. I have explained it, so you could check that out. YouTube channel is Carboxyl Chem. Sir, I sat with my parent and they said, बहुत फारिग time. Sucks to be you, Hunaid. Sucks to be you. Sir, how much do you need minimum in paper 1 for an A? You need to aim for at least 38, 39 out of 40. And you will get 38, 39. Don't worry. Just listen to all the advice that I'm going to be giving you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You don't need 38, 39. And that's what you should aim for. You should aim for 40. But it'll all be well, right? So I think the quota is almost complete. We're almost here with 100 students. And I think Zoom does not allow any more students, right? So I just disable the waiting room so students can join on their own, right? Sir, 15 marks are enough. Dude, people are here tensed and you're here to joke, yeah? Joker of the class, joker of the century. Okay, guys, so before I start solving this question from this paper from your perspective, I want to tell you guys some tips and tricks that you need to keep in mind for your MCQ paper. Tip number 1, I'm officially starting, okay? The video recording is on and I'm officially started. Yes, 35 is more than enough, but please listen to the tips first and then we're gonna start solving the paper from your perspective and then I'll be taking your questions in between. So we're gonna have a short break between the IGCSE paper and the O-level paper. Although both are the same thing, you should stick for both the papers. Remember, O-levels and IGCSE students, your syllabus is roughly now almost the same and the testing pattern is roughly now almost the same as well, right? So you all need to stick here if you want to take the most out of this class. Okay, done. So सर मैं तो कमरे से निकलता ही नहीं हूँ अम्मा अब्बा पीछे लगे पढ़ने it's okay sir why do I have less time racism no we don't have less time I've done 2019 to 2022 skipping is fine it's okay it's fine sir what was your chem result I got all A stars it's okay yeah, sir, February, March 2024. I've solved February, March 2024. Today, I just want to teach you guys how to solve the paper when sitting in the exam hall. That's what I want to do. I want to solve the paper from your perspective. I am in Andrew Tate's University. I don't go to any university. I'm joking. I'm not in Andrew Tate's University, but I don't go to any university. Hustler University. No, thank you. No. Okay, please. Let me start off with the class officially. So the house is full. Okay, let's start. Ikra University, yes. Okay. And you guys can jot down the tips for yourself. Number 1 tip, boost your confidence. That's the biggest tip that I can give you guys while solving the MCQ paper. What do I mean by boost your confidence? Boost your confidence means that you start solving the questions which require minimal reading effort. Rachel, just give me a moment, please. Let me just give you guys a few tips and then I'll take questions before solving the paper, right? So the first tip is tip number 1. That's boost confidence, right? And how do we boost confidence? We start solving the questions which require a minimal reading or minimal effort. So obviously, I'm assuming that all of you are going into the examination hall with somewhat of a preparation, right? So even a tiny bit of, even if you're going with a tiny bit of preparation, you should solve the questions first, which require minimal reading. Please don't go in the order of the examiner. It's not necessary to go in the order of the examiner. So if the examiner has ordered the MCQ from 1 to 40, it's not necessary that you're going to do 1 first, then 2 first, then 3 first. No, you start solving the questions in the order which require minimal reading and minimal effort. Both need to be taken into consideration, right? And I'll give you guys a practical example of that when I start solving this paper. So that's the first tip. The second tip is that you need to fill in the bubble sheet simultaneously. So the second tip is fill the sheet together with solving the MCQ. As you circle the option, you start filling in the bubble sheet. As you're circling the options, fill in the bubble. Circling the option, fill in the bubble, right? So that is what you, don't leave it to the end, please. In the end, you're gonna get the time constraint might get to you and you might fumble and, you know, anything can happen. So don't, let it, don't let the, don't let the solving of the bubble sheet, the filling of the bubble sheet stick till the end. So solve it simultaneously, okay? Now, the third tip that I want to give you guys is that the third tip that I want to give you guys is the elimination method, and that is the OG method to solving each and every MCQ paper, not just for chemistry or for physics or for O levels or A levels. Throughout your career, you need to follow the elimination method, which means that you're not just going to go and circle out the option that you think is correct. You're going to look at all 4 options and you're going to evaluate all 4 options together. And obviously, you can mold this technique to your liking, and I'll teach you how we are going to mold it, but you need to evaluate each and every option. So evaluate every option. These methods are going to save a lot of time for you guys. These methods are going to save a lot of time. So you don't have to, become stubborn during the paper and be like, no. This is a MCQ number. For example, you have options A, B, C, D, and you are damn sure that A is correct. So for example, it says ionic compounds are formed when there's a transfer of electrons from metal to non-metal, forming oppositely charged ions held together by strong electrostatic forces of attraction. So you're damn sure that option A is correct, right? Now you're going to still you're going to circle A, but before circling A, you look at B, C, D. And it is possible that in a particular MCQ, maybe D is an option that doesn't make sense to you, right? So you aren't even getting the gist of D. You are not going to become stubborn and go on to prove why D is wrong. Sir Suleiman told me to eliminate each and every option. That does not mean that if you are damn sure about an option, you still, become stubborn and be like, no, I'm going to prove that D is wrong. You just look at it then. You evaluate it and that's it. Even if you're not getting what D is saying, if you're not getting the idea behind an option and you're sure about option number A, go for it, right? So please, that is very important. Sir, can you give some tips and tricks regarding molds? Watch my crash course. Yeah, that's the biggest tip that I can give you. It becomes lengthy. There are tricks to go about it. Watch the crash course, that'll help you, okay? So these are the 3 major tips that I want to give you guys, right? The 4th tip is make an educated guess. So this is maybe when worse comes to worst, right? So if you are not sure about the MCQ, right? The MCQ in it overall does not make any sense to you. What you're going to do is you're going to evaluate 4 options, read the MCQ once and evaluate all the 4 options, and remember 2 options are always wrong. 2 options in O-level and IGCSE are out right off the bat wrong. So you eliminate 2 options and then make an educated guess. You are increasing your chances of probability. Don't Bismillah your way through it, right? Don't be like, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, select B. Don't do it like this. Make an educated guess at least to increase your chances of getting the option right, even if you don't understand the MCQ all in all, okay? And yeah, these are actually the biggest tips that I can give you for MCQs, and you can use them throughout your life, right? Zyada answer A hota hai ya B, it doesn't matter. You know, sometimes in one order you can get D, 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 D. You don't have to focus on the options that you are getting. Please don't stick that. Oh my God, why are all 4 MCQs consecutively giving me D? If you've applied the concept, they will be D. Nobody, the examiner does not pay heed to all of these things, right? So don't listen to teachers who say if you're confused, just select A, just select B. Why select A and B? Make an educated guess. Done. And you can also use one other technique that was used by two great scientists. I don't know the name of them. I think Moang naam tha ekka, and one was obviously our favorite Einstein, right? So they used the technique called invert. Do you know what invert means? Invert is a technique that you could use not just for MCQs but also for theory. So this technique is basically what the concept behind this technique is that if I ask you a question that ionic compounds conduct electricity in which of the following situations, right? And I give you 4 options. Now what you're going to do is you're going to invert the question. You're going to be like, hey, if you don't understand the question, try to invert it. So you'll be like, hey, the examiner is saying in which of the following conditions do ionic compounds conduct electricity? In which conditions do they not conduct electricity? In solid. So in the rest, in aqueous and molten, it will. Done? So you can invert options as well for yourself if the question does not make sense. But this is the order in which we will be going, right? So we're gonna use this technique first. We're gonna use them simultaneously, but you need to boost your confidence from the get-go. So these techniques will be used by us when we solve our MCQ paper, and that is literally it, right? Other than that, you don't need to rote learn any more MCQs. You don't need to rote learn and solve other past papers and so on and so forth. You've done enough. You've done your work. I believe in you. You should believe in yourself. I believe I can fly. I need that confidence from all you guys, right? So we need that confidence. I believe I can. And there's also this one song which I listen to from time to time. I said that in my live classes as well. It goes like, I only see my goals. I don't believe in failure. Na 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 na. So you guys should see your goals and go to the examination hall cool, calm, and collected. Are 5 years of papers enough? Are 10 years enough? Are 2 papers? I swear to God, for my chemistry examinations, I only did 1 paper for my A levels, 1 yearly paper. That's it. I got an A star. For my physics, I did no yearly papers in my A levels. I got an A star. Right? So I'm telling you guys this from experience. What matters is your concept and your confidence and the way you've gone through the syllabus, right? So now what I'm going to do is that's not cap, that's true, that's the truth. I was a chill dude. I never used to study that much. Still, even now, I like to work under pressure. I like to start studying when there are 10 days left for our exams. But no, it's not level ki baat. Yes, obviously you should look at your capacity, right? So if you're the type of person who can't handle pressure, who gets anxious, who gets nervous, so you should do things from the get-go. But now is not the time to think whether I am a person who can handle pressure or not. Now is the time to make yourself believe that you can handle pressure. Now is the time to tell yourself that, hey, to gaslight yourself into believing you know everything. That is the type of confidence you need, not overconfidence. The difference between the two is overconfidence will get you to go to 0 in the examination hall. Overconfidence means that when you sit and start doing the paper, you are very, very laid back. You are not using your brain, just circling options and this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. No, that's overconfidence. Confidence is you use your brain but believe in yourself simultaneously and solve the MCQs in the paper. So that's the difference between the two. But you have to gaslight yourself into believing you're the shit. Yeah? Because if you don't do that, even if you haven't practiced enough, you should do this, right? This is a very good technique, and that is why we need to solve questions which require minimal reading. So I'm not going to explain this paper per se. I've solved these papers. They're available on my portal. I'm going to solve the paper from your perspective, right? So I'm going to first solve the IGCSE one, then I'll solve the O-level paper, but you need to stick around for both because our main goal here is to learn how to solve the paper. So I'll be solving this paper in such a way that this is like a type of stimulation where I am sitting in the examination hall, and if I were a student, how would I solve the paper? So that's how we're going to go about it, right? So please, these tips are very important. And one more thing, sir, what do we do the night before the paper? Some people can sleep very beautifully, some can't, some are nervous, it's okay. But remember, when you wake up in the morning, you have to revise a mathematics table. It may sound absurd to you, but either revise mathematics table or do some problem solving questions from mathematics or something to start your brain. If you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, and you go sit in the examination hall without using brain, and that is where you first start implementing and utilizing your brain, things are not going to look so smooth, right? So what you need to do is when you wake up, do like 8 times 8. Tell your mom to ask you dodge the table, or if you have siblings, do 10 times 4, 4 times 3, 3 times 6 to start your brain to work, right? And don't have such a heavy breakfast. I always say take glucose as much as possible, because if you take a heavy breakfast, all the blood concentrates to your stomach. So then you start feeling, you start getting a brain fog, and you start reading the question 10 times and not understanding it. So have a light breakfast. Take milkshakes, take dates with you, take take juices, and so on and so forth, right? So before I start solving this paper, you guys, I'll take some of your questions and then I'll start solving this paper from your perspective. Remember, I will be solving this from your perspective so that you guys can have an idea of how to go about the paper. Done? I already said that it's not just about watching three videos. Even if you've watched one video, or even if you've not watched a video, and your concepts are clear and you've practiced enough topicals, and it's fine. Stop thinking about whether I'll tell you a story. One of my friends, the dude, what's invert? You can watch the recording. You learn what invert is. This lecture is being recorded, so it's gonna once it's uploaded onto YouTube, you can watch this part. But what I want to tell you guys is, one of my friends, again, is 30 plus enough, if 20 plus enough. Remember, guys, stop worrying about this. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Stop worrying about whether 30 is enough, or 20 is enough, or 10 is enough, or 40 is enough. Just give it your best. That's it. That's all we require. Use the techniques that I'm trying to teach you. And some of my friends, what they did was, I'll tell you a fun story. So in our A levels, what happened was that one of my friends did 20 years of past papers for physics. The dude did 20 years. Do you know what do I mean by 20 years? 20 years mean 4 papers for each session. So that's a total of 160 papers. That's how many papers the dude did. 160 papers. 4 papers or 3? 3 papers, right? So 3 papers per subject. So 3 times 20, that's 60. Sorry, not 160, that's 60 papers, right? So he did 20 years of papers. And the dude ended up with a D. Everybody. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It does not matter how many papers you've done. Please do not panic when your friend tells you, I've done 10 years, I've done 8 years, do one paper, but do it conceptually. That's it. Right? Yeah, he got a D because his concepts weren't clear. This is not helping. Well, it should help you it should help you that best friends are worst enemies. We can have a talk about it. But it should help you. I didn't even do a single topical. It's fine, Muazzam. Again, this is not the time to panic. This is the time to believe in yourself and tell yourself that even if I have not done a single paper, it's okay. I've done my concepts and I've done like a paper or so and like practiced a few questions. You must have practiced a question or 2 at least. If you've done that, it's fine. Just take this class now and, farewell, bid farewell to the practice that you haven't done. It's fine. Okay. On my way to get fed out of 40. Sir, this is a waste of, sir, time waste हो रहा है. Please, बच्चों के जवाब ना दें और पढ़ा लें. Okay, so again, let's start solving the paper. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to write my name, obviously, Suleiman Khan. And remember, I'm not solving this from the perspective of explanation. I'm solving this paper from the perspective of sitting in the examination hall. Okay, so let's start. Question number 1, part of a cooling curve. Okay, cooling curve. Now I'm thinking to myself, I'm not explaining anything to you guys. Okay, cooling curve means, that substance, it tells us how the temperature of a substance changes as it's cooled down. Okay, it's getting cool. What is occurring between X and Y? Okay, it's saying a part of cooling curve of water is shown. Water means H2O, liquid. So I will have a liquid right here, which means if there's the horizontal line horizontal line means that there's a change of state, so this liquid is going to cool down and become a solid. So between X and Y, what's happening? The steam, there is no steam, that's water liquid. The temperature of water is decreasing, the temperature of water is constant, it's a horizontal line. Ice is melting, no, that's freezing. D is the correct option. But let me just read it. Particles are losing heat, yes. Liquids have more energy and solids have less energy, so they are losing heat. It's an exothermic process. Which statements about clean dry air are correct? Dry air, we know that it has 78% nitrogen and oxygen and so on, but let me read the options. It is a mixture of elements only. No, it has carbon dioxide, it has, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and so many other things, but it's clean, so it only has carbon dioxide and carbon dioxide, like from the perspective of compounds. It has nitrogen, it has oxygen, but nitrogen and oxygen are elements, but carbon dioxide is not an element. It also has argon, etc. So carbon dioxide, it's not just a mixture of elements, it also has a compound. It's clean, so clean will not contain all the sulfur dioxide and trioxide. I have started the recording. It is a mixture of elements and compounds. Yes, it is a mixture of elements and compounds. It has oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide. It contains non-metals. Absolutely, it does contain non-metals. All of these gases are non-metals, right? So 2 and 3, C is the correct option. What is the nucleon? Nucleon, I know, means that the total number of protons and neutrons in the nucleus of an atom. So if I count them up, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's 13, and D is the correct option. Moving on. Let's go. Okay, relative AR. I just need to multiply the mass number with the atomic mass, with the percentage. Mass number is 20, 21, 22. So I'm just going to use the calculator. I'm not gonna, I can speed up. I'm just solving from your perspective. So you guys cannot talk to you guys. If you don't want to talk to yourself like this, it's fine. I talk to myself when I solve. So if I do this 20 multiplied by 90.45, 21 multiplied by this, 22 multiplied by this, divided by 100, right? So I'm just going to do it on a calculator because I don't want to waste time making working. So if I solve it on calculator, I get 20.19. B is the correct option. Sir, please slow down. Remember, I'm not explaining anything. I'm just solving the paper in front of you. Potassium reacts with iodine. It requires too much reading. Moving on. Which substance has the lowest melting point? Oh, graphite macromolecule. Methanol is CH4 simple molecular. So this can be the option. Silicon oxide, sand. Again, macromolecule. Sodium chloride, ionic compound. High melting point. Broom. B is the correct option. Oh my God, molecular formula. I'll skip it. I need to count these things. Hydrocarbon. Skip it. Requires calculation. What in the world is this? Skip it. Okay. Yes, my electrolysis is good. So let me just look at option number 10. Sir, will you solve it in 20 minutes? I can solve it in 5 minutes. But not in 5 minutes. But yes, we can solve it in 20 minutes, but I'm just solving it from your perspective. Remember, सर पढ़ने का टाइम दें. ओके, पढ़ने का दे रहा हूँ. डाइल्यूट एक्वस सोडियम क्लोराइड. सो एक्वस का मतलब होगा कि H प्लस भी है, OH माइनस भी है. सोडियम क्लोराइड मीन्स Na1 plus is there, Cl1 minus is there. Platinum electrodes can also be used. Graphite can also be used. Both are inert electrodes, right? It says what are the products at each electrode. So the positive is anode and negative is cathode. Panic. Positive is anode, negative is cathode. Done. It is being recorded. So the sodium ion is going to go between the sodium ion and the hydrogen ion. The hydrogen ion will go to the cathode and become hydrogen. So B and D are wrong. You won't get potassium, right? Oh, you have potassium, not sodium. Sorry. So you have potassium. So B and D are wrong. And between what will happen at the anode? Because it is dilute, the hydroxide wins the race to give you oxygen. So C is the correct option. Therefore, A is also wrong. Concentrated, again, it requires reading. Moving on, requires reading. What is endothermic? Yes, my endothermic is good. Chlorine gives you 2Cl. So Cl2 going into 2Cl means that this bond is being broken, and bond breaking is endothermic. Therefore, A should be the correct option for me. But I will still look at other options. So B is combustion. Combustion is exo. Hydrogen atom forming another bond with hydrogen atom means that it's H2. Bond formation is only taking place. So that's exo. Sir, will this be uploaded to YouTube? Yes, Ikra. Yes. 2K plus H2, again, I don't know, I can't say anything about this, but I know that they all will be exo because see now, in this case, you can determine whether it's exo or endo, but I know for a fact that this is endo, right? So therefore, I'm just going to go with A. From your 14 is an easy MCQ, requires calculation. I know how to go, but oh my God, 15, too much reading. 16, too much reading, man. See you later, alligator. Let's look at 18. Which row describes what happens to the Fe2 plus ions when they're oxidized? So Fe2 plus ions, when they're oxidized, they go into Fe3 plus and give gives you an electron. So they lose electrons. Gain of electrons is reduction, you dumb person. And oxidation number decreases or increasing? The oxidation number increases. Oxidation is the, what is oxidation? Oxidation is in the increase in oxidation number or in oxidation state. So D is the correct option. Moving on. This requires reading. Skip. Which element forms an oxide with an aqueous solution of a base? So which element will form an oxide that reacts? Okay, so I need an acidic oxide or an amphoteric oxide, because only these two can react with a base, right? So I need an element which is a non-metal, because non-metal oxides, they are acidic oxides and they can react with a base, right? Or if there is an amphoteric oxide that I can form, which is maybe like an aluminum metal which is present, or maybe like a lead metal which is present, right? So lead or aluminum. Okay, so argon oxide, argon doesn't even react. Sulfur oxide, yes, sulfur oxide is acidic, so it can react with a base. B is correct. C, D, they are both basic oxides, right? So B is correct. Sulfur is the element which will make an oxide which is an acidic oxide. Boom shakalaka. Which method is to produce insoluble salt? I know that, precipitation method. So addition, excess, no addition, excess. These excess methods are used to make soluble salts other than group 1. Titration is for group 1 and ammonium. Boom. C is correct. Precipitation. Moving on. See, now you guys know that a lot of energy goes into explanation, because when you're solving it on your own, it's very easy to solve the papers. Okay, so I'm just teaching you guys a way to go about it. मेरा दिमाग इतना जल्दी नहीं चल रहा तो नहीं चलना चाहिए. This is me. There's a difference. Okay, I'll slow down my pace. I'm just teaching you a way to go about it. I'm not saying you should be like, oh my God, this is. Read the question carefully and use the method that I'm using. That's what I'm doing. So it's not necessary that you go with the same speed. Remember, if I go with the same speed, it's going to take me 15 minutes to solve the entire paper. You have 45 minutes, and for O levels, you have an hour, right? Okay, so chill out. Don't panic because of my speed. Please, don't panic. I'm just teaching you a way to go about how I'm skipping MCQs which require reading, how I'm not skipping MCQs which don't require reading, right? Okay, so this again requires reading. Moving on. Requires reading. Moving on. What are variable? Which pair of compounds show that transition elements have variable oxidation state? Requires too much calculation for me, although you can do it directly, but requires calculation from me. Moving on. It says the list gives the order of some metals of hydrogen. Metal X is also included. Which row shows the properties of metal X? So metal X, because it is copper is below metal X, it will not react with dilute acids, because we know copper does not react with acids as well, because copper is below hydrogen in the reactivity series, right? And X is also below hydrogen in the reactivity series. So does it react with dilute acids? No, it doesn't. C, D, automatically wrong. Oxide is reduced by carbon. Well, it can only be reduced by carbon if carbon is above this X in the reactivity series, and it is above X. How is it above X? Because if it's below hydrogen, it means it's automatically below carbon as well. You need to know your reactivity series. So please stop calling me a careless zebra. Instead, try learning. Wait, I'm turning on the AC, man. It's getting hot. So it can be reduced by carbon. So can the oxide be reduced by carbon? Absolutely it can. So A is also wrong. Okay, some ions are given. Which species has the greatest tendency to lose electrons? My concept is good. I know that magnesium 2 plus and zinc 2 plus have already lost 2 electrons. What do you mean that they have greatest tendency to lose electrons? So magnesium and zinc, which is more reactive? The more reactive the metal, the greater tendency for it to lose electrons. So please stop calling me. Magnesium comes first, so that has a greater tendency. Sir, acid के साथ क्यों react नहीं कर सकता? Because copper, silver, gold, they don't react with acids because they are below hydrogen in the reactivity series, so they cannot displace the hydrogen from the acid. Okay? Moving on. Which gas in the air is needed to rust? Oh, by सीधा oxygen है, argon, carbon monoxide. नहीं, ये पढ़ना फिर भी है. You know that it's oxygen, but you still have to read the other options. Remember, guys. See, I read it and I crossed it out. It's not going to take even 2 seconds. Which coating prevents iron from rusting even when coating is damaged? Oh, that's galvanizing and sacrificial protection, and that's zinc. So that's zinc. Grease is wrong, because grease, when it's damaged iron's gonna rust. Paint damaged irons rust. Plastic damaged irons rust. But zinc, even when it's damaged, it can undergo sacrificial protection. So I know this. Why is limestone added to blast furnace? Sir knows that limestone is calcium carbonate. It's gonna decompose to give you calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. And we know that calcium oxide can react with the impurity, which is silicon oxide, to give you calcium silicate, which is slide. You don't need to write these, but I'm just explaining thoda. So it reacts with the impurities to form slag. Absolutely correct. It neutralizes. No neutralization, man. It does not neutralize the slag. It doesn't neutralize the slag. It neutralizes the silicon oxide, right? It releases carbon dioxide, which reduces. No, carbon dioxide nahi karta, reduce carbon monoxide karta hai. Removes acidic gases such as carbon dioxide. It does remove an acidic gas, but not carbon dioxide, silicon oxide. And it's not a gas, sorry. Silicon oxide is not a gas, it's a macromolecule. So B is the correct option. Sir, 30, a lot of reading. Moving on, 31, reading. Oh my God, 31, 32, what in the world? 33, diagram shows the displayed formula for the named organic compound. Okay, which one is the correct one? Oh my God, B is right off the bat wrong. How in the world can he make 5 bonds for carbon? Carbon can only make 4 bonds. Sir, if you check A out, A saying ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid is carbonyl carbon bonded with the OH. And here he is bonded, C double bonded to O, bonded to and bonded to another O. What a dumbo. And if you check C out and D out, D says methane. Meth means 1 carbon. That's 2 carbons. Boom. C should be the correct option, right? D says methane, sorry. Ethanol, meth, eth, and it has the OH. Boom, shakalaka. Moving on, how many total number of bonds does this have? Oh, total number of bonds in butane. Very easy. Meth, eth, pro, bute. Make the bonds. How many total bonds are there? Covalent bonds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. C is the correct option. Propane reacts with substitution reaction. We know which condition is required for substitution reaction. Oh my God, we know it's ultraviolet light. Acid, no. Acha, now you don't have to sit in the examiner. Oh my, examination on say, acid is used for alkenes, iron is used for Haber process. You don't need to sit and do these things. But you saw the options. Okay, no, it's ultraviolet light, acid, no, iron, no. You don't have to convince yourself that, oh my God, no, I'm going to tell the examiner that acid is used for this and that is used for this. No, you can't do, you shouldn't do that. You'll just be wasting time. I have to do it. You shouldn't. Obviously, when I'm explaining. Sir, which structure represents a molecule that reacts with steam to produce this product? Okay, this is meth eth prop. That's propanol. So a 3 carbon molecule should be used, right? So automatically C is wrong and A is wrong because you need a 3 carbon molecule. Now the option is between B and D, and this is an alcohol. Alcohol is formed from alkenes. Therefore, D is correct. I don't even have to look at anything else. Moving on, which describes nylon? Nylon is not addition. It's not natural polymer. It's synthetic. It's not a polyester. It has no ester linkage. It has an amide linkage. It's a polyamide. Sir, moving on, which represents the structure of product? Ethene. Ethene means that there must be 2 carbons in the straight chain, right? All the other carbons should be up and down, whatever, but there should be 2 carbons in the main chain. So if it's polymerized, the double bond should break. So B is wrong. This should break. So A is wrong. Now it says, which diagram represents the structure of the product formed, right? The product, not of the reactant. So read the question carefully. So between D and C, D again, the double bond is there. Dude, C is the correct option. See, just like this, very, very easy, very, very easy. It literally took me 10 minutes to do more than 20 MCQs. 10 minutes to do more than 20 MCQs. You now have 30 minutes to go slow and steady and win the race and blah, blah. Oh, this requires too much. Oh, no, it doesn't require too much calculation and not even reading. But even if it does, I'll first do this. 40 says, what is the RF value of Q? So it's the distance traveled by the component to the distance traveled by the solvent front. So it's going to be what? 83 minus 13, because 83 is from here to here. 13 is from here to here. So subtract the 2 lines to get this line. So 83 minus 13, what does that give me? Can somebody help me with it? Does it give me 70? So 70 divided by solvent front, which is what? 114 minus 13, because we need to go from here to here, not from the bottom to here. So 101, 70 divided by 101. Look at this, such an easy MCQ, 0.69C. Now, how many marks should you get? Full marks. Up until this point, we've gotten full marks. Now I'm going to go slow and steady. Okay, now I'll look into this one. An acid-base titration. Okay, which apparatus is used? Okay, 25 centimeter cube of aqueous alkali is measured using a volumetric pipette. Yes, alkali should be measured using a volumetric pipette right here, because pipette is very, very accurate when it comes to 25 centimeter cube. I am recording. It's not recording on Zoom, it's recording on the app. It is being recorded, okay? So A should be the correct option, but let's look at B, C, D. B says 25 centimeter cube of alkali is measured using the lines on conical flask. Oh my God, is this guy stupid? So much inaccuracy. Where are the lines? So many lines, you know? So it's inaccurate. You use a pipette for it. Huh? The volume of acid is measured using measuring cylinder, volumetric. Oh, you dumbos, use a burette, you stupid man. You're stupid. What are you doing? Use a burette. Burette is more accurate, yeah? Titration, you use burette and pipette. What are you doing? So it's a stupid man. Yeah? So now you can go about MCQs which require reading. Okay, what else required reading? Okay, my oxides aren't that good. Yeah, greenhouse gas concept was good, right? So carbon dioxide, my greenhouse gas concept is good, so I'll attempt this one. It says which type of energy is in what? Okay, remember, I can read it from in between, you will read the entire question. Carbon dioxide acts as a greenhouse gas, I know that, by interacting a particle type of energy. Usually it's like that radiates from the earth, so usually it's the infrared energy, right? So it radiates from the earth's surface into the atmosphere. It's the thermal energy, right? The heat energy is radiating and it needs to go out. But this carbon dioxide is such a culprit that it prevents it from going out. Some of it is lost to space, but some of it is emitted back in all directions, and some of it is also emitted back to the earth, and that's how greenhouse gas, that's called the greenhouse gas effect, and that's how global warming takes place, yeah? So it's not light energy. Type of energy is thermal energy. That's why everything is heating up, right? What happens? Well, what happens is the carbon dioxide molecules increase energy loss to space. Oh, you dumb person. If it increases the energy loss to space, then our Earth wouldn't be called global warming. It would be called global cooling because extra energy would be given out to space and the Earth would have been cool. No, it doesn't happen. It absorbs the energy and kills us. Not kills us, but causes climate change. So B is correct. You know, you have to attempt the paper in Shughal Mela. Shughal Mela. You know what Shughal Mela means? Those who don't know Urdu, Shughal Mela means in a very relaxed manner, you know. Try to make fun of the paper. Don't try to make so much fun that it makes fun of you, but just to, sir, are you from India? Yes, India. No, I'm from Pakistan. Ana min Pakistan. Ana Muhammad Sulaiman Khan. Ana min Pakistan. Yeah. Naam. And I'm in Pakistan. Yes. So, okay, this required. Oh, distillation process was also really good. I know that sedimentation tank, what happens after sedimentation tanks, in sedimentation tank, what happens is the solid particles, they settle at the bottom, right? And after sedimentation, filtration takes place. Where is the concept of distillation? Yeah, there's no concept of distillation when you're purifying water, when you're treating water, right? And obviously in K, what will happen? What happens in stage F? We filter it. We perform filtration, and then in stage K, I remember that sir told me that chlorination takes place. You add chlorine to kill off bacteria, and sometimes we also add carbon to remove that odor, that ganda smell, that disgusting smell in water, you know. So it's filtration and chlorination, so C should be correct, sir. No, distillation is just dumbo jumbo. So A is B, D, wrong. Moving on. Which one requires? Okay, this is between these two. I'll look into this one first. I'll look into this one. This requires less usage of brain, I think. So, you know, this is how you need to go about it. We've literally covered the entire paper within 20 minutes. If I remove my talking from it, you can do a paper in 15 to 20 minutes. But you're gonna have a lot of time. You don't have to rush it, remember. I am also not rushing it. This is my normal speed. You stick to your normal speed. Don't go too slow, but stick to your normal speed. Don't go like, sir was reading it like this, so I should read it. The Nobel Gather. No, sir has a lot of practice. Okay. Desalination. Yeah, desalination is something else. Yes, that's also purification. My normal speed is 3 hours. What? Okay, the noble gases. Okay, noble gases of group 8 are shown some properties of the first 4 noble gases. What can I see? I can see a general increase in boiling point. Don't rush it. It's increasing, it's not decreasing, it's a negative sign. So when I say today the temperature is -10, and then I say in Peshawar or in Lahore the temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, which is a higher temperature. 40 negative means it's a smaller number. So if the negative number is decreasing, that means that the boiling point is increasing, the temperature is increasing, right? It's negative. -1 is greater or -10 is greater? Obviously -1 is greater. You are in a debt of 10 rupees and you are in a debt of 1 rupees. What is worse? Debt of 10 rupees. That's that, right? So increase in boiling point is taking place. And density, what's happening to density? It's 0.1, then it's 0.9. So here it increased, then it increased again, then it increased again. So it's an increase here as well. So both density and boiling point are increasing. So B should be correct, yeah? B should be correct. 22, okay, done. 19, acid, in which reaction does acid react with base? Yeah, okay, I can do this. This is acid base. My acid base is good. Okay, so let's look at acid base. Okay, let's do this. Dilute sulfuric acid when is added to magnesium? Oh, no. When you add metal to acid, it is a displacement reaction, not acid base. You don't need to write the equation, for crying out loud. You'll waste your time. I know the equation, but don't need to write it. Dilute sulfuric acid is added to aqueous barium chloride. Oh, barium chloride is not a base, it's a salt. What's happening? Sodium chloride hydroxide is added to copper sulfate is a salt. What's happening? Aqueous sodium hydroxide. Yeah, sodium hydroxide is NaOH. Yeah, that's a base. And ammonium sulfate. Yeah, ammonium sulfate is a salt, but we've learned this equation. It's an acidic salt. So it has that extra H plus ion to give it, right? To give to the sodium hydroxide. It can react with strong bases. So this is a base and that's acidic in nature. So yes, an acid-base reaction does take place in D. Harir, kaise? Revise the concept, man. Okay? What? In the end, I'll also take your questions. What in the blast furnace iron oxide is converted? I know that. Now it says, what happens to each of these reactants? Okay, it says in a blast furnace, iron oxide is converted to iron and carbon monoxide is converted to carbon dioxide. So carbon monoxide reacts with oxygen to go into carbon dioxide, and iron oxide, Fe2O3, reacts with this carbon monoxide to give you iron plus carbon dioxide. And it can also react with carbon, who cares? Now it says, what happens? Okay, so about reduction and oxidation. So let's talk about this. Iron has an oxidation state of +3 here, oxygen is -2. That is +2, that is -2. And here it's 0 and here it's +4. Sir, how do you know? Revise your redox, right? So iron is going from +3 to 0. So iron is being reduced. And you can also use the concept of oxygen here. It's only here. But I'd suggest using oxidation states. So oxygen is here, there's a loss of oxygen atoms, therefore iron is being reduced. +3 say 0 pe gaya. So iron oxide and carbon monoxide are oxidized? No, both is wrong, because if iron oxide is being reduced, carbon monoxide is being oxidized, because here you have 1 oxygen and here now you have 2 oxygen. So there's a gain of oxygen atoms, therefore carbon monoxide is oxidized and iron oxide is reduced. So iron oxide is not oxidized, man, it's reduced. It's reduced and that's oxidized. D. Sir, can you suggest a good source for revision? Just take this class. That's it. Okay, this requires reading. No, man. No, I don't wanna fight with this for now. Requires reading, man. Yeah, this, I know this pretty easy. I can just do calculation. You have CH4, so you have 4 CH bonds. Then you have 2 bonds of O2, which means you have O double bonded to O. So you have 2 O double bonded to O. I'm not explaining this class. Remember, I'm solving from your perspective. When's the O-level paper starting? In 15 minutes, but you should stick for this. You should stick for this as well, man. It's the same class. It's both for O-levels and IGCSE. The main concept is to teach you how to go about the MCQs. Please don't succumb to pressure. Again, carbon dioxide, C double bonded to O double bonded to O. So you have 2 CO bonds. H2O. H2O is what? Hydrogen bonded to oxygen bonded to hydrogen. And you have 2 of these, right? So this is OH, that's another OH, and you have 2 of these. So you have 2 multiplied by 2 OH. What do I mean? Well, I mean is that you have OH bond here and OH bond here. So I have 2 OH bonds, and how many moles of OHs do you have? 2. So it's further multiplies with 2, right? Then I plug in the values in calculator. So 4 multiplied by 410 plus 2 multiplied by O2 is 496. So how do you calculate the enthalpy change? It's bonds broken minus bonds from this minus this thing right here. So 2 times 805 plus 2 into 2 is 4. 4 times OH. OH is 460. So 4 times 460. Okay, solve it, please. Can somebody solve it? What do we get? I'll blindly believe you, whoever gives me the answer. Minus 818? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Abu Bakr, there's no E option. Sir, can you repeat H2O? Dude, Ali, I'm not teaching. I'm solving from your perspective. This is not, you can ask me in the end. You can ask this from me in the end, okay? Will this be uploaded on YouTube? Yes, it will be, but remember, I'm not solving the paper. I'm not explaining things. I'm solving as if I were sitting in the examination hall. Okay? Okay, this seems easy. Which is least exothermic? In exo, here the initial temperature was 19 and now it's 25. So that is exo because there is an overall increase in temperature of surroundings. Sir, it's 22 and the temperature is falling. When temperature falls, that's endo. 22, temperature rising, that's exo. 21, temperature falling, that's endo. And I think which one is least exo? So B and D are right off the bat. B and C are right off the bat wrong because they are endo. Now between these two, which one is more exo? 19 to 25, there's a change of 6. 22 to 26, there's a change of 4. Least exo is D. So realistically, how much should we aim for in P1? Realistically, I'm telling you, you should aim for full marks. Sir, how is it endo? The temperature is decreasing. Again, not explaining. Well, okay, I'll explain this a little. Remember guys, you all can only observe the surroundings. So if the examiner, these teachers also have so many mixed up concepts, their concepts are so vague and ambiguous. Remember one thing, when you see the temperature increasing or decreasing, it's the surrounding. When it says the temperature of solution is increasing, it's the surrounding. And in exo, the temperature of the surrounding increases. So everything that you observe is surroundings, be it the mixture, the temperature, the beaker, the blah, 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 right? And yes, you are right. We cannot see this unless and until the examiner uses the specific term, which is system. You are going to say that everything else is the surroundings. Okay? But remember, the examiner will never use the word system because that's not in your course. Yeah? So because the temperature is increasing, because look, the temperature is increasing, exo, because increasing means temperature is being released, exo. Exo, temperature of surrounding is increasing, exo. Here decreasing, endo. But I'm not explaining again. Okay. These required, okay, now I can count these. So molecular formula, what is the molecular formula of the molecule? Pretty easy, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 hydrogens and 1, 2, uno, dos, O2, C4H8, O2, B is the correct option. That's not this, I don't even know what this, now I'm not explaining it because I'm damn sure, man, I looked at them, but I'm sure that B is the correct, 100%. I looked at these, I paid a look, this is obviously wrong. This is, I don't even know what he has mentioned here. I don't know what's going on, right? That's how you need to talk to yourself when doing the paper. Potassium reacts with iodine to form potassium iodide. So potassium, yes, I know potassium reacts with iodine to form potassium iodide. Done. Each potassium atom shares by potassium iodide is an ionic compound. There's no sharing. Boom, A is wrong. In potassium iodide, particles have more protons. Question mark. I don't know what this means. What is the examiner saying? I don't know what it means. C says potassium iodide has a high melting point because covalent. No, it's ionic. Potassium iodide has a low melting point because it has high melting point because it's ionic. B is correct. So now, even if you don't understand what B is correct. But I'll tell you, he says potassium iodide, in potassium iodide, the particles of potassium, so when potassium iodide forms, you have a K plus ion and an I minus ion held together by strong electrostatic force of attraction. So he's saying the particle of potassium, this particle right here, it has more protons than electrons. Check it out. Protons are going to remain the same 19 and electrons it's going to lose an electron, right? So once it loses an electron, now the electrons are going to be 18. So it has more protons than electrons. When will this video be uploaded? After this class is over, it'll be uploaded inshallah within 30 minutes or 40 minutes of the class getting over, or 50 minutes at max. Done? So that's how you need to go and fill in the bubble. Okay, done. Done, 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 done. Bow, bow, bow. Okay, let's look at these two. What is this? Okay, let me just give it a try. A hydrocarbon has this much percentage of carbon. So if it has this much percentage of carbon and it's a hydrocarbon means carbon and hydrogen atoms only. So if this is carbon, hydrogen should be 100 minus 58.7. 100 minus, 85.7. So what does that give me? 14.3. It says, what's the empirical formula? Divide by the ARs. What do you get? 85.7 divided by 12. That gives me 7.14 ratio, 14.3 divided by the smallest ratio, 7.14. So it's 1:2. So 1 C and 2 hydrogens. Therefore, A is the correct option. Okay. Look at 9. 9 is, I don't even know what it is, but it's very easy. If I now focus at 9, now you will have to focus. Now you have to read it because now you have a lot of time. Okay. So the formula, sir, if it comes in points, if it's not a whole number and it comes, remember in your course it'll be 1 or 1.5. So then if it's 1.5, you times the whole thing by 2. But when it's 1.1, 2.99, so you can round it off, man. Look at it from the broader picture. Done. The relative formula mass is 158. So if this is 158, what is x? Pretty easy, simple mathematics. 2 multiplied by 23 plus 2 multiplied by x. I don't know what x is. Oxygen is 16 and you have 3 oxygen atoms. So 16 times 3. And this mass of this entire compound is 158. Simple mathematics. Can we calculate x? What does that x give us? If it is 1.7, it will not be 1.7, Elise Anjum. It will never be 1.7. Chill. That's 32. Is the correct option. There's a way to 1.7 and 1.6 and 1.4, but not in your course. I've taught it in my classes though. Or not in your course. Okay? So A is correct. Moving on. Okay, now I look at this one. Do I want to do this first? Or do you want to do this bala first? Oh, this is too much bala, yaar. Too much bala. Let's move on back. Let's move here. Concentrated copper chloride is electrolyzed using copper electrodes as shown. What happens? Okay, so it's concentrated copper chloride. So you have the copper 2 plus ion. Because it's aqueous, you have the H plus ion. And you have the OH minus because it's aqueous. And it's chloride, so you also have the chloride ions, right? So that's the solution right here. Now, what happens to the mass of each electrode during the process? Pretty easy, man. It's simple electrolysis. That's anode, that's cathode. Between the copper 2 plus ion and the hydrogen ion, which one will win the race? The copper 2 plus, and it's going to deposit right here. And the mass of the cathode is going to therefore increase. So the negative electrode, the mass of negative electrode increases. So C and A, they are wrong. Now, what will happen to the mass of positive electrode? Well, sir, because you are using copper electrodes, they are not inert. And if they are not inert, they are gonna dissolve to compensate for these copper 2 plus ions being used. So the mass of the anode is going to decrease. I do not teach A levels. I do not have any time to teach A levels. Yeah. I do this for fun now. This is not my field anymore. So pretty easy. Now, which questions are we left with? Are we done with maximum questions? Oh, let's look at 23. Some properties of element R are shown. Okay, melting point is given, boiling point. It gives off H2 gas when react with cold water. So when it reacts with cold water, okay, great. Burns to give a white solid. So it reaction with heated oxygen. It burns to give a white solid. Now, it's a transition element? No, sir, it can't be a transition element. White solid? How does transition element give you white solid? We know transition metals give us a colored compound. So you can simply take off D, right? Now, group 1, group 7, and group 8. Remember, when group 7 reacts with oxygen, does it give you a solid? No, it's a non-metal oxide. It's going to be a gas. So B is wrong. Group 8 does not even react with oxygen. So C is wrong, and it must be group 1. Why? Because even now you can confirm the facts. Oh yes, group 1s have low melting points, but their boiling points are high, and they react with water. Displacement reaction happens, and blah, blah, blah. Sir, is every compound of transition metal colored? Absolutely. If you, sir, but what about zinc? Zinc is not a transition metal. Zinc is an exception. You learn that in A2 when you study transition elements. Teachers have a wrong concept. Remember, D block elements are not all transition elements, but transition elements will be D block elements. What this means is that whenever this particular block right here, if you talk about transition elements, you will find them here. But that does not mean that every element in this block is a transition element. Mufti Tariq Masood. Okay, now I have to look at the oxidation states. So I can calculate the oxidation states. Hope you guys know how to calculate them. I'll do it directly. This is +3 here. That's +3. So it's not showing variable oxidation state. If I look at C is +2 here, and that's +2 here as well. That's not variable. Sir, how do you know it's +2, +3? I'll tell you in the end. But copper sulfate, copper has a charge of 2+, so therefore the oxidation state is +2. Here again, copper chloride, copper has a charge of 2+, so Cu2, copper has a charge of 2+. Iron 2 oxide, right? Here iron has a charge of 3+, and here iron has a charge of 2+. Sir, how do you know? It's simply cross multiplication, right? Fe2O3, how was this formula formed? Fe had a charge of 3+, O had a charge of 2-, and when you cross multiply, you ended up with Fe2O3, right? So the charge on the ion is its oxidation state. So if iron has a 3+ charge, its oxidation state is +3. Here, FeCl2, so Fe has a charge of 2+, and Cl was 1-. That's why the formula was FeCl2. Therefore, the charge is 2+, and therefore the oxidation state should be +2. So this is showing variable oxidation state, so C is correct. That's how you need to go about the paper. Very easy, very, very easy. And full marks? Literally full marks. We haven't even done anything in full marks. Yeah? Let's do this. How are oxides of nitrogen formed? Okay, how are they formed? Let's read the question. Now you have a lot of time. Don't rush through it. By reaction between nitrogen compounds in petrol and petrol does not have nitrogen compound. Bro, petrol, petrol is an alkane. You big fat bro, gasoline, it's alkane, it's a hydrocarbon. It does not have any nitrogen in it, you dumb person. My God, what's wrong with you? So, petrol does not have any nitrogen, you dumb boy. Yeah? So, nitrogen compounds. Now, between A and B, a reaction that happens in the catalytic converter. What happens in the catalytic converter? The oxides of nitrogen and carbon are converted. Nitrogen oxide is converted into nitrogen, and this is converted into CO2. So, that's correct. A should be the correct option. Why would I need to... Where does hydrogen come in the catalytic converter? What's going on? So it might take you some time to, maybe catch up on the MCQ, but read it carefully. I can read it quickly. You should read it slowly. Give it time. Any question that is left? Is any question left? Are we done with all the questions? Whew, we did the question. That's why I said don't challenge my speed. Sir, for latecomers, can you explain the trick? It'll be uploaded in 40 minutes, 50 minutes. Blah, blah is left. Oh, this blah, blah is left. Okay. 50. Now I will take my time. Can I... Question 7 is left. Oh, let's look at 7 first then. If 7 is left, no, it's done. It's B. It's done. I think only blah, blah are left. So blah, blah. I love you guys. Yeah, I'll miss you all. Although most of you haven't studied from me. Some of you, I don't know. But I'll miss you guys, yeah. I hate the October-November batch, I swear, because it's always so dull and boring, and it's just, yeah, I'll miss you all. No time to be emotional, okay, chill. Because, May, June batches are always good because students are very, lame. They start getting ready for the paper when there's only a few months left. So, October-November session students are like, that. Yeah. Spoken like a genuine teacher. Sir, आप किस school में पढ़ाते हैं? Sanya, I don't teach in any school. I'm a solo bird. You guys can check out my channel on YouTube. It's Carbox Silchem, if you still haven't. So I don't teach in any school. The moment I start teaching in a school, unless and until it's my school, then... What the channel name? Okay, let's do these questions. Yeah, 2 more questions left, then we'll take a break and we can chit chat for a while. Hydrochloric acid is added to excess calcium carbonate. Remember, when the acid is limiting, acid, I've explained this concept a gazillion times now. Remember, when the acid is limiting and you change the concentration of the acid, with the concentration, the products will also change now, and the rate is bound to change, right? But if the acid is not limiting, the increasing or decreasing concentration will affect the rate, but the products produced will be the same. And that's the mole concept. We calculate the products with our limiting reactant. So if limiting reactant is increasing or decreasing, the products will also increase and decrease. And because we're talking about concentration, it's bound to have an effect on rate. But even if the acid was in excess, the rate would still be affected, but the products wouldn't be affected, okay? Two different concentrations of hydrochloric acids are used, but the temperature is same in both experiments. Now realize that if you're decreasing concentration, the rate will be affected, but because it's limiting, he's saying excess is calcium carbonate. So because this is limiting, the products will also decrease, right? And that's what is shown. See, the more the concentration, the greater the rate, because you look at the tangents. This if you put tangents right here, this is a steeper tangent, this is a horizontal and flat. So the steeper the tangent, the greater the rate, and the greater the rate, the steeper the tangent, the greater the gradient, and the greater gradient means greater rate, right? So if this, and see, even look at this, because acid was limiting, the products produced are now also going to be more. But if the acid was in excess, then the products would be same, although the rate would still be greater for 2 mole per decimeter cube, but the products would be the same, right? Now it says which row is correct? Collision rate. What happens to the collisions compared to 2 moles and 1 moles? What's happening? Why is the rate greater for 2 moles? Because it has a higher collision frequency, right? You have more particles per unit volume, so collision frequency should increase. C and D are wrong. What will happen to the energy? Remember, energy is only affected by temperature. And that is why when you double the temperature, the rate increases by more than double. Because temperature increases the frequency of collisions, and it also increases the percentage of particles that have energy equal to or greater than the activation energy. Yeah? Catch me if you can. Thug life. I've taught these things, yeah. Today I'm just solving it on my own. I'm not explaining anything in particular. So remember, collision energy is only affected by temperature. That's why if you double the concentration, rate doubles. If you double the surface area, rate doubles. If you double the pressure in case of gases, rate doubles. But if you double the temperature, the rate increases by more than doubles. Remember, it's a very good question by Shaz. She's saying, can catalyst change collision energy? No. Collision energy is not changed by the catalyst. It just lowers the activation energy. So for example, nitrogen had 7 joules of energy, and this nitrogen had 7 joules of energy. And you use and for the reaction to start, you needed 8 joules of energy, right? But both nitrogen and nitrogen, they both have 7 joules, so the reaction won't start. Now if you add a catalyst, nitrogen and nitrogen will still have 7 joules of energy. But the reaction will now, because of the catalyst, it will lower the activation energy, and the reaction will start at 6 joules. So it did not affect the collision energy, it just decreased the activation energy. But what temperature does is, if the activation energy is 8 joules and nitrogen were at 7 joules, and you increase the temperature, these particles will now gain energy. So now this will be like 10 joules and 10 joules. So the temperature increases the collision energy. The particles, other conditions, they don't increase or decrease the collision energy. It's only the temperature. What about the collision rate? Collision rate will be higher, obviously. Collision rates are higher. If you increase concentration, collision rate increases. If you increase surface area, collision rate increases, and blah, blah, blah. So it's no change on the collision energy. And I don't expect you to get this particular MCQ right. Maybe you might get it right? Although you know that collision rate is not going to be lower in 2 mole per decimeter cube. So you can eliminate C and D off. So you can still get an educated guess with this. Last MCQ. We literally solved the MCQ paper in 25 minutes effectively. Sir, please, how do you write so neatly on digital note apps? I write so disgusting. I use an iPad. So if you have an iPad, you should be good. And my writing is pathetic. The first person, yeah, I'm the iPad kid. Okay, the decomposition of blah, blah, blah is a reversible reaction. Forward is exo. If forward is exo, backward should be endo. Now it's saying, which row shows the effect of the position of equilibrium and rate? Remember, I've taught you guys this thing in class. When it's a reversible reaction, if he says rate of forward, rate of reverse, you will cancel out reverse and forward. You'll put a line over it. What will happen to the rate if the temperature increases? Rate increases with temperature. Be it the reverse reaction, be it the forward reaction. Rate will increase. It's not linked to reverse or forward or backward. If you increase the temperature, rate will increase. Be it forward, backward, whatever. So rate of reaction will increase, therefore A and C are wrong if you increase the temperature. And position of the equilibrium, if temperature increases, it favors endo. Endo is the right side. The forward reaction is endo, so the position of the equilibrium should shift to the right, and D should be correct option. We know. And that's how we do it. That's how you need to solve the MCQ paper. So you can get a 40 out of 40, and even then you'll be left with like 25 minutes. So you don't want to be left with time. You want to do it slow and steadily, but you apply the tricks and tips that I taught you. So the way I solved the paper today, you have to go about it like this. If you have a better method, you can do that absolutely, but I'm just talking generically. This should be the method. Minimal reading in the end. Bas ho gayi, my eyes. Was that your stamina? That's it? Hi. Why did I solve the entire paper? This was not explanation, guys. This wasn't an explanation. Sir, can we take a 5-minute break? Absolutely. Take as much break as you want. I'll pause the recording. Yeah. So I've started the recording again, and let me add the O-level paper now. Because O-level students like, sir, why aren't we doing IGCSE? Just do O-levels. You know, and that's just crazy. You guys should focus on the concepts and the technique rather than we. You know, सर आपकी आवाज़ अच्छी है सर एक गाना ही सुना दें और पिया oh my god sorry सर CS go आ जाओ I don't know what CS go sir please accept my request on WhatsApp I will after I'm done with this class sir cover when sir sing मन की लगन लगाने लगे तुमसे मन की लगन लगाने लगे तुमसे मन की लगन I want to send this question, please. You can send it in the discussion forum. Sir, आप कौन सी energy drink लेते हैं? Sanya, we have to fake it till you make it, yeah? So we have to fake it for the students. In real life, very introverted person. Very introverted. Sir, I need you to let me in the discussion forum. Sure, I'll let you in right now. Gali gali ghume. So many students are joining the discussion forum right now. Gali gali ghume dil tujhe dhoonde tere bin. Sir, concert when? Soon. Okay, solving this paper now? I'm not solving the paper. I'm just giving you guys an idea of how to go about it. I might not even solve the entire paper. For this O-level paper, I might not solve it. So how to become this casual? You have to have a grip over your concepts and your profession and your abilities. If you know you're the shit, then you can be this casual. But if you are all tensed and you are confused and you are teaching students and you know you're like, oh my god, ye kya karunga? Then it's gonna be a little difficult. Sir, I have a quick question on WhatsApp. Please check. Hi, please give me a while. We'll look into it later on, yeah? Let me just solve this paper and then we can look into WhatsApp. Other students will help you there. Okay? Yes, Asjid, you want to say something? You can say anything. Because now whatever you guys say, it's going to come directly in my ears. It's not going to be a part of the recording, so don't worry. Sir, I can't find the discussion forum. It's in the description of my YouTube videos, Harir. It's a free forum. Sir, in alcohol, can there be more than one OH group? Yes, but in your case, there wouldn't. But if there is more than one OH group, it still means it's an alcohol. Yeah? Sir, which subjects do you take? Math, physics, chemistry, computer science. Sir, what are you studying? Studying something totally out of this world. Studying how to become a better human being. Okay, enough of my wit, man. Let's just teach you. Do I need to solve this, guys? Sir, is it haram to drink drinkable esters? Drink it, man. Alhamdulillah until you are inna lillah, and then you question, you answer the angels. Yeah, mashallah, alhamdulillah, until it's, you know, bye bye Hari, bye dude. Do I solve this, or was one paper more than enough? I think it was more than enough. Yeah, I just needed to give you guys an idea of how to go about the paper. Okay, I'll just give you a quick overview. I'll give you a quick overview and then you can ask me any question of your choice, right? So I'll just give you a quick overview. So if I were you guys, I'd solve this first because question number 1, easy peasy, is obviously going to ask me some, I'm going to read this and liquid to solid, solid to liquid. I'll do question 2 again, 3 again, 4 seems easy, simple, 5 is very easy. How can negative be joined with negative? Negative can be joined. How does chlorine have a positive charge on it? This is wrong. How can positive and positive be attracted? So that's also wrong. A is the correct option. So, you know, something like this. I'll do 6 next. 7 looks a little scary, so I'll skip it. 8 looks a little scary. 9 looks the most scary. I'll skip it. 11, I have a lot of practice. 80 tons, 50 tons, percentage yield question. I can do that. Yeah, this I can do very easy. Solved a billion questions with this. I can do this very easy, very easy, very easy. 16 requires a lot of reading, man. 17, not that much reading. 18, do that. 19, yeah, you know, just like this, you go about the paper. And then in the end, which diagram is an alloy? D, dude. C is graphite. A is diamond. B is just a simple, it's just a lattice that has been shown. This looks good. Easy. I'll do these then. I'll do all of these. Very easy. Some students might find this very easy if they studied organic chemistry from me, even if you haven't watched the crash course. But very easy. I can do this, blah, blah, blah. And then move back to the first few questions. But that's pretty much that, guys. Inshallah, you all will get A stars. Don't worry. You all will get A stars. I need to get every option correct. You don't. Remember, that's the difference. You don't need to get all the options correct, all the MCQs correct. If you get it right, good for you. If you don't, it's okay. Stop stressing. One major mistake that students do. One major mistake that students do is that when they can't solve an MCQ, they get stuck over it. Please, for crying out loud, don't get stuck over MCQ and become, your ears start to get hot. When you are feeling the pressure, your ears will start to get hot automatically. So you just take a deep breath. If you're getting stuck and you can't solve an MCQ, do this. Don't do it so loud, but obviously the examiner will hear you, and then they might even, make you sign some reports and be like, stop creating disturbance. But you can go like, do this a few times. And think about me, whenever you guys get stuck in an MCQ, think about me calling you out, telling you such a dumbo, But hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully my voice is there to guide you. That's pretty much that, guys. I don't think I need to solve this MCQ paper for the O-levels one. It's the same pretty much. Very easy, very simple. The main concept was to give you guys an idea. Now you guys can ask me any question that you want, and I'll just stop the recording here. And if I feel like any question needs to be a part of this recording, I'll resume the recording. Yeah? Well, that's pretty much it, guys.